Hey guys, I didn't disappear. I am still here. Um, I haven't had a chance to film because over the past week my roommate's been home, which is nice. He spent every day of the week here. It's no Sunday, which is the day he normally goes to his parents. It's the day I would normally go to my parents, but I can't. My parents had to be tested for the virus, which is scary. My parents are both 60 and 70. They're in that age range. And my father has heart conditions and had he had a sickness when he was a kid. I can't remember which one, but it makes him highly susceptible to the virus. My mother, she's healthier, but she's also been given 10 years to live by the doctor. I don't think a virus is going to help with that. So it's been very scary. I have aunts and uncles, but they live on other sides of the country. I have an aunt in Ontario, and then I have another aunt in Alberta, which isn't too far from where I live. It is another province, though, and then I have the rest of my aunts and uncles in British Columbia. I do have other family as well, but my parents don't communicate with them. Which is a lot of complicated stuff. Maybe I'll talk about it one day. So if something happens to my parents, all that is here in this town is my sister. And I mean, I want to leave this city. I want to move. But it's scary to think if the worst happens and I lose both my parents. I mean, I know my family, my aunts and uncles will get on the first plane and get down here. But even if they couldn't, they might not even be able to with the virus. But I think that's another thing people haven't thought about is funeral expenses because of the virus. I am part of the CERB program, which is the Canadian Emergency Relief Benefit. It gives you $2,000 a month. It's not taxable though, so you have to pay it back at the end of the year. Not all of it, but you have to pay, like, I'm in the lowest tax bracket, so I have to pay like 12% back, 15, something there. But which isn't a big deal if I get the full. If I get this for 4 months for 8,000, I'm only paying back like 1,200. This is 1,200 or 1,500. I can't see. It's either 15 or 12%, which means it's either. And I could sit down and do the math and figure it out, but I'm not gonna. Anyway, which is good. I mean, that's money I'm now putting towards. Mostly just gonna save it up in case an emergency happens. I would like to take my cats to the vet. Not that they're showing any like health signs or anything. I just want to get them checked and get their shots up to date. And I was planning to save up for that anyway. And I might save up some of this money. I have to pay $875 for this one bedroom apartment that I don't have a sink that works. I don't know if I've talked about that. My sink is clogged and not working. And I'm still paying full rent at my place, but they're not coming to fix it because of the virus. And like, I get that, but I feel like maybe my rent should be lowered a little bit because I have a clogged sink and I've spent over $20 trying to fix it. Nothing's fixing it. It's clearly something in the pipe. I've changed the trap pipe. I've changed everything. I'm just pissed. But they're sending people at the start of May to come and redo the walls, redo the floor. Like, I don't understand how that's an essential service, but my bathroom sink isn't. And I'm probably going to send them an email in a few days and be like, look, I need the sink fixed. Like, this is ridiculous. I paid a full month's rent. I should be getting what I paid for. I'm kind of hoping, and this is a long shot, but I'm kind of hoping this kicks off the talk of a living wage, which is, I'm sure if you're American, you might have heard of it a little bit. I hadn't really heard about it, and I'm Canadian. It's basically once a month the government gives you money to pay for like your expenses and everything, and then any money you make on top of that is your own money. So it's been proven to be very successful. And yes, you do get people who use it and they spend the money on like frivolous stuff. But I think it's, you know, a really good idea, and I think it's a really like I just think it's a great idea, and it's something I think for a lot of people we're struggling just to, there is no looking at like what's going to happen tomorrow. Like there's just what do I do today to survive? And like for me, it's just making enough money to pay my rent. Like I have money tucked away in my savings and stuff because my mother's made a point of doing that. But I got money tucked away to go to Japan in a few years, which I'm really excited for. And I also have money tucked away to start paying off my student loans. Now, I believe I'm part of the student loans that you don't have to pay it off until you get an actual job in the field that you applied for. But I'm hoping this brings a larger conversation on the living wage. And yeah, you're gonna have people who stay at home and like don't do anything, but if you're getting a living wage, it's gonna be just enough to make it so you can buy your groceries and survive. And you could decide to live a much smaller life where like you have a tiny little place where you pay like nothing in rent, you eat very little, and like you eat like ramen noodles. You're gonna get people like that. But if you're gonna live like that and like whatever, and like I think if you make over a certain amount of income, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be applicable for it. So like people out of a certain tax bracket shouldn't, like millionaires don't need it, but like lower class citizens like me and many others, especially in the city I live in. And my city has a big problem with gangs and drugs, which I've never encountered. I've never really had a problem with the gangs in the city. Maybe, I don't know. I'm also not somebody who actively puts myself in dangerous situations, I think. I mean, I do go, like 2 weeks ago, I went for a walk at like midnight, and I walked downtown, which is not the safest area. But I walked downtown, and like, I don't know. It is a quarantine, the streets were empty. But that was a Saturday night, actually. Or was it a Friday night? I think it was a Friday night, which normally downtown is packed, but I was like, I'm going for a walk. And it's just about knowing where to go, knowing not to mess with people, and just keeping to yourself. And maybe there is like, I don't know. I feel like I was born and raised in this town. I like, this is my home. I don't know if maybe no, they're not. I don't know. I don't know how gangs work. I'm uneducated. I know the justice side of it, but I don't know the inner side of it. Inside of it. But that was me rambling. Yeah, this past week's been really good. It was really nice. We just hung out. Raising Child and Sonic Adventure 2 and watching Daredevil Season 2 because he wanted to skip to the Punisher. Unfortunately, Elektra's in the season. Started a game of Subnautica, but he says it's too much. playing a lot of Overcooked. It's been just nice being able to just hang out and know he's not trying to get away, or like he wasn't thinking. Like I told him yesterday was Saturday and he didn't believe me. And yesterday I had a really bad cry because I need help with my assignments. Now, I've never had a professor in a class just say pick a topic from the course, write a paper on it. Usually they give me a short list and they go, here's the topics you can choose from, write your paper on one of them. I've never had a teacher just be like, pick a topic that we've talked about in class. So I have a paper due on Thursday, which I didn't know because it doesn't show up in my final exams. And then I was going onto my university website trying to find information on this paper, and the wording of it, I figured I was missing something, and I was going to email the professor and ask her, am I missing something, or do we just pick whatever topic? Like, the wording's just confusing me. Also, just so you know, I never was notified when the final exam was. It doesn't show up on my exam schedule, just letting you know. I'm still going to have the paper done, but just as a heads up. But first I texted my little sister, because she's in the class with me, and I texted her, and I was like, oh, weird, I don't think the thing's showing up for me, because I figured there'd be a list of topics, because I've never had that before. And she goes, no, it's there, you need to read it again. So I read it again, and I go, I'm not seeing a list of topics to choose from. So clearly it's not. I'm just gonna email the professor and say, like, I don't think this is showing up for me. I'm not getting a list of topics. So can you send them to me or something, just so I can hurry and hurry so I can get working on it. And my sister is like, no, read it again. And I read it again, and I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing a list of topics. So clearly I'm either missing something, or I'm not understanding that we just use our own topic. Do we use our own topic? Can we pick whatever we want from the class? And she goes, I don't have time to deal with this. And I'm like, okay, I'm just asking you a yes or no question. Yes or no, do we select, is there a list of topics that we have to select from that I'm not seeing? Yes or no? Because if it's a no, I'm not seeing it. She goes, everything's there, you should be able to see it. Like, you're clearly just not looking hard enough. And I was like, I've been doing this for like a week. I've been like scouring through this thing for a week. And she's like, well, the information's been up for a while. And I was like, yeah, I've been checking for a while to see and make sure that everything's on there. And I'm ripping through everything and I cannot find it. So what I want to make sure that, like, am I missing something? She goes, it's all there. You're so dumb. And she just starts going off, just calling me dumb. And that that other people can figure out and I'm too dumb to figure it out. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I asked for your help. I asked you a yes or no question. That's all I asked. I asked you yes or no, is there a list of topics? And you just kept going on. You dragged this on. You just had to say yes or no. And like, I don't have any friends in university. I'm not somebody who has a lot of friends. And she's my little sister, and I figured I could ask her. And she lost it on me, and it sucked, because I was like I'm really struggling with my depression, and I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to do positive affirmations, but I do take external validation above my own, because I feel like my own validation's not good enough. So having my little sister there screaming at me that I'm dumb and that I don't know what I'm talking about, it sucks. And like, even then, like, I'm somebody who always second guesses myself. I'm always somebody who's like, if they tell me how to write a paper, I'm gonna go up to them and be like, well, do you mean this or do you mean this? Like, I'm somebody who's constantly asking questions and making sure I understand the specifics, and like, I'm not messing something up, because I'm always scared I'm gonna mess something up. And it sucked. And my mom called me afterwards and was like, I'm sorry, I don't know why your sister does this. I was like, it's what it is. Like, whatever, I can't change it. And it just, she quit texting me, and I sent her a thing, and I was like, I'm asking you for help as a sister, your only sister, and somebody who has dropped everything to help her before. As somebody who has, taken a phone call from her at work, risking my job to talk to her when she's having a panic attack. I've done that. And, for her to, all I asked was a question. I just wanted help making sure I understood what was being asked. And she has friends that she can talk to in the class. I don't. So it just sucked. And then getting called dumb and stupid, it just... And I relapsed last week. I'm not going to talk about what I did. It's getting worse, which is scary. I haven't done anything since then. I'm trying my best. I really am. It's just hard. I can't see my family. I was supposed to go see them last Sunday. My parents said no because my roommate is going out and seeing his family. And my mom was like, well, if he's going out in public and his family's going out in public, because he has like 5 people at home. It's his mom, his dad. Yeah, there's 5 people at his house, and his sister is going out partying. And he's coming in contact with her. She's coming in contact with people. And then my parents... I don't know if you hear that. Anyway, my parents, my mom was like, we thought about it, we decided you can't come. So I actually couldn't go and see my family because my roommate's seeing his family. But it doesn't feel fair for one of us to be giving up everything and the other one to have to, like, it doesn't feel fair if I'm like, you can't see your family so I can go see my family. Now I could always do the thing and be like, 2 weeks. I'm asking you to not go to your parents for 2 weeks. I'll go to my parents 1 week and you can keep going to your parents. I just need like a bit of... But I'm not willing to do that because he would lose his mind if he spent 2 weeks here by himself. Not by himself, but like 2 weeks here. I have had to do it for over a month now. I have a bunch of stuff to do. I'm going to finish up that paper I have due because I didn't get a straight answer from my sister, but I guess it's just any topic. So I'm talking about the moral status of animals and I want to focus on rats. I'm going to try and get at least that rough copy done so that all I have to do is clean it up and polish it. Because that's what I do with papers. And what I recommend for even not just papers, but writing in general, write a rough draft. I always see writing as kind of like you're taking a big hunk of clay, carve out your basic image, and then work on the details. And like sometimes you maybe have to shave something off and you have to pick up some new clay and put it on there and figure it out. But that's the best way to write a paper is start off, have your block, carve out a real basic image, and work on the details. And it's better to have more than less because it's better to shave off than add. Yeah. That's how I write papers, but I'm gonna work out a lot because I haven't worked out in a week. And my mom sent me money to buy dinner, so I'll get dinner. And I don't know. I'll have Persona 5 The Royal coming, like just playing on in the background because it's not a game I have to like sit down and actively play. I can write a paper while I play it. Yeah. Sorry I haven't posted. Sorry I rambled. I have no one to really talk to, and I know nobody really watches this, but it feels like I can talk to someone. And I'm surprised this account hasn't been flagged by YouTube. Not saying they should. I don't think what I'm saying is like inappropriate in any way. But YouTube is such like a they'll protect people who groom children through their platform, but anyway. I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna get my lunch and figure out what's going on outside and work on my paper. Bye, guys.